So today is day 3, week 13, and we're going to talk about strengthening personal boundaries. So, how do you strengthen your personal boundaries? Let's get into that. Establishing and maintaining healthy boundaries is essential for personal well being and building respect, balanced relationships. Here's a guide to enforcing the importance of boundaries, practicing assertiveness communication, and using effective boundary setting techniques. Reinforcing the importance of boundaries. You have to reinforce it. So let's talk about understanding it and let's also talk about some practice that you can do. So, self respect and self worth. It's at the top. I put it at the top, and I did it for this reason. Understanding. Recognize that setting boundaries is an act of self-respect and an acknowledgement of your self-worth. When you set boundaries, other people will say to themselves, "She loves herself," or "He loves himself." And they respect themselves and they know their self-worth. They're not going to let no one just come in and do whatever they want to do with them. So that means that I have to respect them too. Okay? So what you want to do is practice. You want to affirm that your needs and feelings are valid and important. That's what you want to do for yourself. Do that for yourself, because when you do this, it helps others to see that if you care about yourself, they're going to have to care about you too. And I'm not saying like they care like you do, but what I'm saying is that they won't go out of line to mistreat you or disrespect you. So it's about protection of well-being. Understanding boundaries protect your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. You want to you want to remind yourself that healthy boundaries help prevent stress, burnouts, and resentment. Healthy relationships. You understand boundaries create a framework for respectful and balanced relationships. So let me read that again. Understand that setting boundaries, what it does, it creates a framework for respect. All right? And also to help you have a healthy, balanced relationship. What you want to do is observe that clear boundaries foster mutual respect, trust, and understanding in relationship. Pay attention to how other people who have a good relationship, how they know that they have boundaries within each other. You can even ask questions like, you don't do it with the couple together. Do it separately. Ask the lady, "Hey, can I ask you a personal question?" And then okay. And they're going to be a little hesitant because they don't know what you're going to say. Say, I've been dealing with setting boundaries in my relationship. And first, always talk about yourself in that part so they can understand why you're asking the question. I have been dealing with setting boundaries in my relationship. So I want to know, I admire what I see with you in your relationship. Do you have boundaries that you set? And if so, what are them? So I can understand how important it is. And they just might share it with you, okay? Anyways, don't pry, okay? Don't pry. Just accept what they give and leave that where it's at. Personal autonomy. Understand boundaries uphold your right to make choices about your life and your body. You want to practice assertive, so you want to assert your rights to say no and make decisions that align with your values and your needs. Practicing assertive communication and boundary setting. Now, we did this once, but I want to do a little bit more with you so you can stay aware of this, because it's something you're going to have to do constantly. It doesn't go away. If it goes away, then you didn't put yourself back. You just set yourself all the way back. So what you want to do is have self-awareness and clarity. Identify your needs. Reflect on what you need to feel safe, respected, and valued. So what do you need to feel safe? What do you need to feel respected? And what do you need to be valued, to feel like you are valued in the relationship? You want to clarify these boundaries. So be clear about your boundaries regarding time, personal space, emotional energy, and physical well-being. Talk to your partner about this, your potential partner about this. This is before you get into the relationship, all right? And then assertive communication. Use I statements. Don't forget that. So communicate your needs and boundaries by using I statements to express yourself clearly and non-confrontiveness. You don't want to be confronting them. You just want to be more assertive in letting them know. I'm going to give you an example. So here's the way you can do this. You can say, I feel overwhelmed when I don't have time for myself. I need some quiet time each day. Now, this is before you got into a relationship. They're not calling you every day yet, but y'all on your first date or your second date or something like that. Or you're having your very first conversation over the phone and they're getting to know you. And they're wondering about, what are your deal breakers, or what are something that you need for yourself and will help you to be a better you. Well, you can say that. Hey, I feel overwhelmed when I don't have time for myself. I need quiet time every day. Like for me, I do feel overwhelmed when I don't get my personal space sometimes. Now, I do need quiet time when I first wake up. And I mean by quiet time, I'm talking about I don't need to be on the phone talking to people when I first wake up. I have to fully wake up to talk to you. And on top of that, if someone's at my house and they're visiting, okay, I know that I can't be this way all the time, but if they're at my house for an extended period of time, let's say you're in my house for 3 days or more, I'm going to need you to understand that when I first wake up, I'm not coming straight out of my room to start talking to you. I'm going to sit in my room for a while, and I'm going to sit there and start gathering my thoughts. I'm going to be doing my mindfulness practices to get myself focused. Then I'm going to come out the room and be ready to engage with you. That's how I get my personal time before I get started with my day if someone is there. Has nothing to do with you. It's all about me. Because I can become overwhelmed and be like, I'm ready for this person to go home. It's taken away from me being able to do me. And when I say do me, that means doing the things that I need to keep myself grounded. Okay, so you want to also be direct and respectful. So clearly state your boundaries without being aggressive. Respectfully communicate your limits. Here's some examples on how you do that. I appreciate your concern, but I need to handle this in my own way. So let's say, for instance, and what that means is like, okay, the person that you're with is trying to tell you how to do something, and you don't really want to do it that way. So instead of being like, no, I'm not doing it like that, you can do it this way. I appreciate your concern, but I need to handle this in my own way. And then they're going to be like, okay, well, go ahead and handle it in your way then. Do that. Go ahead. See? You wasn't aggressive, but you was definitely assertive, all right? So, consistently, you want to have consistency, and you want to follow through. That's the word I'm trying to get. Consistency, what it does is that it upholds your boundaries and follow through with your consequences if they are violated. Definitely enforce your boundaries. You cannot be passive with this. And don't be aggressive. This is what I'm teaching you assertiveness. This is the way it go. You got passive. Passive is being walked all over and trampled on it and being treated like a doormat. People wiping their feet off on you, their dirt off on you, and treating you like you ain't nothing. You just there for that purpose. Then you have assertiveness. Assertiveness is where you not passive, you're not aggressive, but you definitely get your needs met and you make people aware of it. Then you have aggressive. Aggressive, you're not passive, you're not assertive, but you're downright mean. All right? That's why you don't do passive aggressive. Stay in the middle and be assertive. All right? So, some examples. If you consider to raise your voice, I will have to lead the conversation. That's assertiveness. You wasn't aggressive, you wasn't passive, but you were definitely assertive. You let them know, hey, if you continue to raise your voice at me, I will have to exit the conversation. I'm not going to continue talking with you until you calm down. All right? They're going to be like, I'm not yelling, but your tone. Let's change your tone. All right? Make it more suitable for me to understand you. So, be firm. Stand firm in your boundaries, even if others are trying to challenge you or disregard them. Stay firm. You want to also practice saying no. Get in the mirror and practice saying no. Say no 50 times in the mirror a day. I'm telling you what's going to happen. I'm laughing because I know what's going to happen. You get in that mirror, you start saying no 50 times a day. A week has passed and you're still practicing it. Someone's going to walk up to you and they're going to be like, hey, you going to be like, nope. And then they're going to be like, but I haven't asked you yet. It's just going to happen because you got so used to it and you've been saying it, so you're comfortable with the word no. So if you're a person who is not comfortable using the word no when someone asks you to do something that you don't want to do and you're sure that that's not what you want to do, try to do this activity. All right, stand in the mirror. What you want to do is be polite but firm in your refusal. So you're going to learn to say no politely by firmly without feeling guilty, okay? Or obligated to provide details of explanation. You don't have to explain yourself on why you said no. It's just no. So what you would do, here's some examples how you would do this. You would say, they ask you a question, hey, I need you to come by the house tomorrow and babysit. I'm about to go to the store and I got some grocery shopping to do. I also have to go and do some, run some more errands. I'm going to go get my nails done. I'm going to get my hair done. Girl, you know I'm going out this weekend and all that stuff. So I'm going to need you to come by and babysit while I do this because you the auntie and you know, girl, come on. No, what you're going to do is this. After they finish talking, you're going to say, no, I'm not available to help you with that project, but I wish you the best with that. And they're going to be like, project? What are you talking about? Well, that's exactly what it is to me. You want me to come? I'm not telling you to say what I'm about to express. You want me to come by your house and babysit your damn kids? Please, not happening. Don't do that, okay? Just flat out say, no, I'm not available to help you with that project, but I wish you the best. And they're going to be like, okay, well, I'm not used to her telling me no. Do you really mean it? I mean it. Now you can suggest an alternative if you want to. Now you can, if it's appropriate though. All right. If you don't have one, you don't have one. So you can suggest an alternative that works better for you. And you can do it like, you can say, hey, how about tomorrow? Tomorrow evening. I can't do tomorrow morning, but I can do tomorrow evening if you're available for tomorrow evening. She gonna be like, but at my hair appointment, well, I'm just letting you know that's the only time I'm available. It's tomorrow evening. I'm not available in the morning. So you either gonna take it or leave it. Maybe you can find somebody else who can do this for you, but I'm not free until tomorrow evening. And then, or maybe you can reschedule your appointment and then you can do it another day when I'm available. I will let you know when I'm available. Let me check my calendar and I'll let you know. And they're gonna be like, check your calendar. When you got calendars, I have calendars now. Yes, I have calendars and I have to-do lists for myself too. And I gotta make sure that I come first in this scenario because I'm always putting everybody else first. Now, the thing is, you don't have to have explanation. They don't need to know why. But if you choose to, just say simple, I'm putting myself first. Okay, you putting yourself first. So you're gonna be selfish now? Well, if you call it that. I actually like that idea. I'm being selfish now. Okay, if that's what you want to call it. And they thinking like, so basically you're confusing them and they're not really sure how to take it. And eventually they're going to leave you alone about babysitting their children or anything else they're trying to get you to do. So I'm just letting you know it works with more than just your boyfriend and girlfriend as well. It works with other people too. I'll give you one example. I told you I'm going to be long-winded, but I do want to tell you this. So my mother, she has doctor's appointments and everything, right? I want to make one of her doctor's appointments, but I can't make them all. And what I told her was, give me the schedule of your doctor's appointments, and then I will let you know when I can come and be there with you. But in the meantime, you have your caregiver who's there, your home health provider. Have her go with you during the hours that she's working for you. She's working during these hours. Set your appointment to be in that time frame, and then you won't be by yourself. And that's how we're doing it. See? Assertiveness. I'm practicing now. Because the other time I will be running down there, driving my car. Because if I fly, that means I got to get an Uber. But I drive so I can have my transportation when I get there. Let's talk about dealing with pushback. Because you're going to have this when you start addressing your boundaries. You're going to have this happen. So when you're dealing with pushback, you want to remain calm. Stay calm, okay? You want to keep your composure at a minimum, low. Don't get on a level that they're on. If they start yelling and screaming, don't get on that level, okay? Just keep it calm. Because remember, you're the one that's in control. They need you. You're not needing them. They need you. So remember that, okay? So what you want to do is compose yourself when someone is challenging your boundaries. You definitely want to reiterate your boundaries. So calmly reiterate your boundaries if someone tries to push past them. They try to get you to do more than what you want. You want to definitely be firm and stay calm. Here's an example. What you can say when someone is trying to push your boundaries. You can say this. I understand you feel differently, but this is when I need to do this for myself. Let's say, for instance, like someone wants you to do something. Okay, I'm being clear on this. And they're not liking it. And because you told them no. And then back to the situation with your sister wanting you to babysit or something like that, you can be like, look, I understand that you feel differently than the way I feel about this situation, but I'm sorry. I'm just not going to be able to do it. If you want, you can wait till this evening. I know the nail doctor, whatever it is that you're trying to do is not open at that time, but maybe you should reschedule. And when I'm available, I'll let you know. Okay, we can stop talking now. Talk to you later. And it's just what it is, okay? So what you want to do is you want to do self-reflection. After you have a situation like that, you want to have self-reflection and you want to make any adjustment that's needed. Reflect on the experiences. After setting your boundaries, reflect on how it made you feel and the response you received. Just think about it for a little bit, right? So adjust your approach if it's needed. If you need to adjust your approach, adjust it. If you say to yourself, oh, I was a little too sarcastic, maybe I shouldn't have done that, adjust it. But don't apologize If you apologize, they got you. They're like, oh yeah, I got her. Now I can manipulate her. No, don't apologize. So what you want to do is learn from any feedback though. So you adjust, just learn from feedback. Maybe ask somebody else differently. Tell them what you did and how you handled it, how they respond, and then ask them for their feedback, because they're not the one who wants you to do what you don't want to do. They're there to listen to you and to give you some information. So be open to the feedback and willing to reframe your boundary setting skills if you need to. Here are some techniques and examples. I'm going to give you some examples. I'm going to give you some techniques that you can use, okay? So first we're going to start off with examples, and then we're going to talk about the techniques. Let's talk about time boundaries. Here's an example. I have uninterrupted time. I need uninterrupted time to work on my project between the hours of 2 to 4 p.m. Here's a technique that you can use. You're going to schedule specific time to work for work, rest, and social activities. You're going to communicate these times with others, and you're going to stick with it. So if you know, for instance, that you have up until 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock to work on any type of project, and someone need you to come and do something else, or you need to get some rest, you definitely need to get some rest. So you definitely want to make sure that you prioritize whatever you have going on with your work, your rest period, and you want to have a social life. So definitely prioritize all that around the hours of 2 and 4, all right? And then let's talk about emotional boundaries. So here's an example. I'm not comfortable discussing this topic. Let's talk about something else. This is if you're talking to somebody and they're talking about something that you're very uncomfortable with. That's what you would say to them. Now here's a technique that you can use. Identify topics or behaviors that causes emotional distress and communicate your discomfort clearly. Let them know, hey, I'm not comfortable talking about that. And tell them why. Let's talk about physical boundaries. So here's an example. I need some personal space right now. Please give me a moment alone. So here's a technique. What you do is you express your needs for personal space or even physical distance directly and respectfully. You let them know, I need some space. You all up on me. Back up. You don't have to say it like that, but say, hey, can you give me some space? I need personal space. I'm not comfortable right now. So here's material boundaries. Somebody want to use your car or something like that, right? Here's an example. You say, I prefer not to lend my car to others. I can help you find another way to get there. Maybe Uber. The same money that you were going to use to put gas in my car, use that money to get an Uber or Lyft. So your technique is that you clearly communicate your policies about lending or sharing personal belongings. All right, that's the technique that you make sure you do. Intellectual boundaries. Yep, people can violate you in this too. Here's an example. I respect your opinion, but I have a different perspective on this issue. Okay, here's your technique. Acknowledge others' point of view while asserting your rights to hold and express your own opinions, all right? That will help you. Strengthening personal boundaries is crucial for protecting your well-being and fostering healthy relationships. By understanding the importance of boundaries, practicing assertive communication, and using effective boundary setting techniques, you can create a balanced and respectful environment for yourself and those around you. Remember, maintaining boundaries is an ongoing. Remember, I said ongoing. It doesn't stop. It's an ongoing process that requires self-awareness, consistency, and a commitment to honoring your own needs and values. You have to be committed to this, all right? Tomorrow is day 4, and we're going to talk about developing healthy relationship patterns. How do you do that?